I love Severed Steel. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. And now I sound like a meat writer. For those who don't know what Severed Steel is, it's a movement shooter similar to the likes of Doom, Ultra Kill, and more. Why are the babies crying? Oh, that's right, because I compared games with similar aspects to one another. The gaming community's gone soft, Jesus Christ. There's a few things that set Severed Steel apart from one another, one of them being the arm cannon that allows you to destroy structures. You could use them to create shortcuts or deal with certain enemy types that you just overall don't want to deal with. Anyways, I've been playing this game for a good while and recently decided to check out some of the custom workshop maps. That's right, this game has an in-game level editor that you could use to make some funny levels. You can make different types of levels and publish them to the Steam Workshop for other people to play. So I downloaded a couple of different maps and we're going to be talking about some of them. If you guys want a part 2 of this, maybe we could talk about some more Severed Steel videos, you let me know, I guess. But I also wanted to make this video to let more people know about Severed Steel because it's genuinely a really good game and I want more people to play it. So let's go. The first map is E1M1. This is based off of the very first level in the old school Doom titles. On an unrelated note, did you know that the melee in Doom 2016 sucked? Anyways, there's two different versions of this map that you could play through. The base campaign, which just has you defeating a horde of enemies and reaching to the original exit of the level. And there's the firefight mode, which is basically just kill as many enemies as you can within a time limit. But anyways, this is pretty much a decently faithful recreation of the original level from Doom. I think there is some different areas added that weren't in the original. I could be wrong, but don't quote me on it. Overall, it's a really nice level. It has a lot of different types of enemies for you to fight, a lot of places for you to wall run around and have some fun. They even added some new obstacles that weren't in the original map, built specifically for Severed Steel. And even the explosive barrels can be shot at to make them explode. There's not much else to really say about this level, it's just genuinely really good overall. My only gripe is you can get the arm cannon in this level, and usually the amount of shots you have is indicated by a little HUD element to the bottom left of the screen. Now for some reason that would not show up on this map. I don't know if it's because the game didn't expect you to get the arm cannon like this or not. It's not a big deal or anything, just something I figured I'd point out. The next map that I played is Inversion. Inversion is kind of weird, but I like it for how weird it is. So basically in the campaign variant, you have to touch all these different checkpoints, and don't worry, they're labeled on the map for you. I say on the map, it's on the HUD, what the fuck is wrong with me? Anyways, the area that you're going around appears to be a bunch of different towers with hallways to go through and everything, and it kind of gives off old vibes of okay, I'm gonna be honest, it's so weird I can't even think of a good comparison. But this level is genuinely fun. Even after I recorded this video, I went back to this level to play it a few times just because of how much fun it is, trying to find the best routes to get all the checkpoints in the lowest time possible. It's genuinely really fun. And it's one of those levels where you don't have to kill all the enemies. If you want to just blast through, hit all the checkpoints, and get to the exit, well hey, you're more than welcome to do that. Overall, another really good stage. I think it's kind of a little bit crazy, it's a little hard to figure out where you're going, even with the objective markers that show up so you know where to get to each checkpoint. But overall, a really fun level. The next map is the Ritual, and let me just first say, visually speaking, this is one of the coolest levels that I've ever seen. Like, holy shit, it almost didn't feel like I was playing Severed Steel at that point. There was also a couple of different weapons that I picked up that I had never seen before, like this revolver. Was this always in Severed Steel? Well, regardless, how does the map itself play? Well, it basically has you eliminating a bunch of different enemies. It took way too long for me to actually do it. I died in lava, I quit. But visually speaking, it's a really nice map, and I just gotta say, it's just fun going around killing some enemies. There's these portals that lead you to different parts of the map, but I never really saw myself using them. Again, I never actually beaten this level, so I'm going to assume that, you kill a certain amount of enemies and then an exit will appear or something. I don't know. Regardless, it's not a bad map. Again, visually speaking, it's one of my favorites. I know that might seem kind of weird for a map that looks like it's just covered in rocks and nothing more, but it just has a different vibe from everything else I've seen in Severed Steel. I don't know, it just looks cool. Genuinely a very visually pleasing map with a fun premise. There are some things I wish would have been changed for the map in terms of its layout, but otherwise, it's pretty fun. The next is The One. No, I'm not kidding. It's literally just called The One. The One is a campaign map that lets you go through essentially a nightclub, which sounds kind of cool, right? This is the hardest one I've done so far. There are enemies swarming around this damn place, and it's absolutely insane. Like, I died the first time because there just wasn't many places where I could go and hide, and I had very little ammo to deal with. Anyways, in this map, you gotta start off by locating the safe that's in the area and destroying the implant that's on it. Once you do, you'll then head up to the roof where you'll fight a pseudo mini-boss, which is actually kinda cool, but also kinda lame and monotonous. So here's the ordeal, right? This boss is a giant aircraft carrier thing that basically just flies around. As far as I'm aware, I don't think it fights back. At least it didn't when I fought against it, so who knows? It's probably just a useless piece of shit that doesn't do anything. Enemies will constantly spawn on the roof as well, so if you ever run out of ammo for your guns, you have ways to get more, but just... God, man, they spawn in the most out there places where you have to run around, and then you gotta figure out where the fuck the giant space shuttle thing is. It's not even a space shuttle, that's what I'm calling it, because fuck you. And the HP, man, God, even with some of the greatest guns in Severed Steel, I barely felt like I was doing that much damage to the damn thing. Overall though, visually, in terms of what the map actually has, it's pretty damn cool and generally one of the most well put together I've seen so far. I wish the boss was a little less tedious, but it's not the end of the world. That's all for the campaign maps that I've personally found. The rest of them are firefight maps, which essentially just has you killing all of the enemies and try to get the least amount of time possible. Nothing too crazy. The first one is based off of Dust 2 from the Counter-Strike series. As someone who played a lot of Counter-Strike as a kid and genuinely really loved Dust 2, it was really cool to actually play on this map. They added some different areas to sneak some enemies in and some new paths that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to take in the original Counter-Strike. Again, it's just firefights, so all you're doing is just killing a bunch of enemies, but it's fun. It doesn't really look too much like a desert area, but to be fair, I'm sure the creator of the map did what they could, and the layout otherwise is pretty much Dust 2. So it's really cool in that regard. The layout, you know, it's still Dust 2. I just wish it had some other elements that made it more like Dust 2, but I can understand if maybe the level creator didn't allow that. Maybe there were some materials they couldn't work with, for example. Otherwise, they did a really good job with this. The next one is a backrooms-based level. Weirdly enough, there wasn't any enemies, and if there are enemies, I couldn't find where they are. There's no music or anything, it's just an ominous liminal space, which, I mean, hey, that is what the backrooms are for, after all. Overall, though, it just felt kind of boring to me. I mean, okay, sure, I get the whole point of the backrooms is that, you know, you're kind of alone and you have really nowhere else to go, but like, come on, give me some enemies to fight at least. Next one is Turbine. This is based off of another Source game, based off of Team Fortress 2's Turbine map. It was a Capture the Flag map, if I recall properly. Again, simple firefight map, so you're just going around killing a bunch of enemies, and it's really cool, honestly. There was even some turrets set up around. At least I think there were turrets. I don't know, they didn't look like humans because they didn't bleed, so... yeah, what you gonna do about that? It's genuinely one of the bigger firefight maps that I've downloaded, but it was super cool to actually go around, and God, man, I wonder if there's any other maps that are based around TF2 or Counter-Strike. I need to check because those were generally some of my favorite FPS games of all time as a kid. Man, I gotta relive my childhood in a different way, huh? But overall, this map is absolutely fantastic. The blue and red side are both done fantastically, and overall, it was just fun to run through. Okay, so the weirdest thing about this one, oh my god, I don't remember what the original map was called, but I think it was something like a house or whatever. But for some reason in the level select it says, ah shit, here we go again, being a reference to San Andreas. I don't know if this map is actually based off of GTA San Andreas, since I've never played the game before, so if it is a reference, I wouldn't know. I just know the reference of the quote, not really the house. If this house is a reference to San Andreas, do let me know, but I'm pretty positive it's not. I could be wrong on that though. Regardless, well, it is what it's advertised. It's a giant house, and you just simply run around and just shoot all the enemies, kill them dead, and all that shit. There's not really much I could really say about it. It's kind of just a house. And on the outside, it's like really fucking bright for some reason. The other maps, I didn't really have this kind of problem, but for some reason, this one, brightness was just like so fucking insane whenever I was outside, making it hard to see. But I mean, overall, it's not a bad map at all. It was still really fun to run around. I even had some hilarious moments where I kicked someone through a wall. Yeah, I don't know how I did that, but hey, it counted as a kill, so fuck it, right? Pretty cool, nothing too crazy, but hey, if you really wanted to have a house-based map, this one will definitely serve for you. And those were all the maps that I decided to play through. Again, there's a lot more that I could definitely play through, and if you guys want me to do a part 2 of this, I can definitely get onto that. Again, I mainly wanted to make this video to give more exposure to Severed Steel because it's genuinely a fantastic game that I really recommend to anyone who loves movement shooters. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys own Severed Steel and want to try out these maps for yourself, I'll leave the links to each and every one of them in the description below so you can check them out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day, night, afternoon, whatever it is where you're at. Just be sure to have a good one. Also, before you ask why I'm back to white hair, don't question it, just roll with it at this point.